Hallo zusammen. So today I want to do a lesson for us on making Ja, Nein Fragen, and that would be yes or no questions. So what we want to do today, our target, is that you're going to be able to structure your own questions where the answer would be or start with yes or no. So we have some different type of questions, and this is very similar to what you have in English as well. So we have W-Wortfragen, I have there in German, which just means W-word questions. So in English, those would be questions with who, or in German, wer, wie, how, was, what, wo, where, and so forth. So your who, what, when, where, why, how questions. And when you're asking that sort of question, like, what is your name? Where are you going? What is that? We don't really know the answer. So we're looking for some sort of unknown information in a question, which in a W-word question, which we've started doing. Ja, Nein Fragen, or yes or no questions, on the other hand, we know that the answer to those is going to be either yes or no, or it's going to start with yes or no. So like in English, we might have something like, are you a student? The answer is going to be either yes or no. So you're looking to confirm or deny some information that you may be asking about or somebody else might be asking about. So when we have sentence structures, when we have sentences, so that's, not a question but a sentence, the subject and verb are always together. We can think of them as BFFs, or I always like to think of them, with a heart around them. Because the subject and verb, they're always going to be together. So they should both fall in that heart. So your action, so your verb, your action, and the person that's performing that action, or the thing that's performing that action, should always in German you should be able to draw a heart around them so that you know that they're together. If the heart's broken, then you need to look at the sentence structure again. But again, they are always together in a sentence, and that goes subject and verb in a sentence. Now, questions, on the other hand, and that includes yes or no questions, the order's going to be verb and then subject. So you see, so the sentence, it's subject and then verb, and then in a question, and a yes or no question, we're just going to flip that, and it's going to be verb subject. But you see that we can still draw that heart around the verb and the subject. They're still together. They may be in a different order, but they are still together. And rather than it being subject-verb like it is in a sentence, it's going to be flipped so that it's verb-subject. Okay? Again, subject and verb are flipping. Okay, so if we were to take an example sentence like du bist cool, all we would have to do is flip our verb and our subject so that it's bist du cool. So you see we have our verb first and then our subject. So you are cool, and we flip-flopped it to say are you cool. Okay? Now, if we have the sentence Dein Lehrer ist nett, so your teacher is nice, all right? Again, instead of it being subject and verb, we want to flip it, right? So that it is verb and subject, okay? Now, you may think, Lehrer is the subject. It is, but we also remember we have a possessive adjective with it. So that's part of the subject. So we need to move that around in the question as well. So it should be ist dein Lehrer nett. So we want to make sure that those are together. All right. Now, I want you to try this sentence and making it a yes or no question. So das sind meine Bücher, means those are my books. Now I want you to tell me what the correct order would be. So let's remember, we want to flip our subject and our verb. So we want to make it sind das meine Bücher. So if you look, we just flip-flopped our subject and our verb. And that's all we had to change in this sentence to make it a question. Now we have the sentence, ist 20 Jahre alt. He is 20 years old. And we want to take that and we want to make it a yes or no question. So we want to ask, is he 20 years old? So remember, it's very simple. All we have to do is flip our subject and our verb so that it becomes ist 20 Jahre alt. So we flipped the subject and verb around, and that's all we had to do to make a yes or no question. Ist 20 Jahre alt? Is he 20 years old? All right, let's take a look at this sentence. Du magst deine Lehrerin. So we have you like your teacher. You like your teacher. So we have two people in this sentence, but think, who is doing that liking? We want to flip our subject and our verb. So tell me, what would the yes or no question to ask, do you like your teacher, be? So to say, do you like your teacher, again, just flip your subject and your verb to make magst du deine Lehrerin? Now, let's take a different approach to this. So I've scrambled up a sentence or a yes or no question, and what I want you to do is put all these words into a yes or no question. So remember, find your verb, okay? And then find your subject. And that's going to be your order. So put these words in the correct order for a yes or no question. So our verb is going to be ist. And who are we asking as the subject? Is Frau Wagner. So ist Frau Wagner cool? So again, if we were saying this as a sentence rather than a question, we would just flip our subject and verb around again, and it would be Frau Wagner ist cool. Okay, so we have three words up here. So we have Deutsch, we know, German, du, you, and lernst, to study. Okay, so if it were a sentence, it could be you study German. Okay, but what I want you to do is take all three of these words and put them in the order to make a yes or no question. So remember, we want our verb, then our subject. Okay, so our verb in this question would be to study, then our subject would be you. So it would be lernst du Deutsch? So do you study German? You may have noticed that we don't have a word for like do, like we do in English. All you have to do in German is flip those words around. So going back to magst, so du, you, magst, is to like, and deine Lehrerin, your teacher. All right? So we want to ask this yes or no question. What would it be? So again, we want our verb first, then our subject, and that's going to give us magst du deine Lehrerin? So do you like your teacher? And again, if we wanted to say you like your teacher, all we have to do is flip these back around. Let's try another one. Take deine Freundin, your friend, your girlfriend, sie, she, and ist, is, and put these words into a yes or no question. If you said, ist sie deine Freundin, then you're right, because we have our verb first, and then our subject. Is she your friend? So, I hope that those examples helped you learn how to make yes or no questions in German. So remember, really, it's just about putting your verb first, your subject second, and then the rest of your sentence, or the rest of your question, excuse me, to make a yes or no question. So, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, so vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Thanks for your attention. Auf Wiedersehen.